get after for 6, 8 seconds. Guys, this is what we had to get. This ain't the one we want. You got that
Why do you have a squeamish bladder?
Well, you know, it kind of is that way.
I don't know
All the
what's
time?
happening.
It's just that way sometimes.
I really don't know what's happening, but this is the Laurel Leader Call Sports Show, even if you don't
So,
think that it is.
Oh,
This
my
is the
bad.
Laurel Leader Call Sports Show. I'm your host, Jack Fairchilds, joined alongside
squeamish bladder.
squeamish bladder, Kevan Lindsey, and my good friend and yours, Josh Guru Nichols.
What up, yo?
Yes, and you got a little bit of a look into some of the conversations that happened before we go live.
My hair. We want to talk about my hair?
No, we do
It's
not.
a great cut.
You know, I was about to give Kevin all the kudos because, Guru, do you realize last week Kevin made history?
Yes, he did.
First show since we started this that he didn't get muted. And he's already this close to getting muted right at the start of this one.
Could be karma.
Could be. I thought you were going to push the button, but you didn't. So
I mean, you never know. I am feeling 22.
yep, that did it. So Kevin will be muted for at least a couple of minutes now. So yeah, between his squeamish bladder and his love affair with
His
one
own
pop
hair.
star and his love affair with his own hair,
He's got great hair.
his hair is good. You know, we'll give him credit there. I guess because of that, we'll unmute Kevin. Oh goodness, folks, we got a lot of stuff to get into.
Sometimes, Jack, you just got to shake it off.
And now, first time Guru is muted. It was bound to happen eventually. That maybe we should do an old school around the horn type show where I just get to mute everybody, and then give y'all the winner gets the final words. Oh goodness, a lot of basketball action over the weekend. We've got the girls' side started. We'll start off here. North Pike unfortunately ended Northeast Jones' season 52-31. It was a close game in the first half, but from what I was told by Coach Summerall, they did not. North Pike just wouldn't miss. I mean, and that's kind of the way how he described it. They just got red hot, and it was hard to match that. But it takes nothing away from the season that those girls had. You know, going from 2-23 last year to finishing second in the region and making the playoffs is just an incredible season. Great job by Coach Sam Summerall. I just wish it could have gone a little bit better for him in this one, but I mean, he's got a lot of young talent coming back. So, I mean, I think the future is very, very bright for the Lady Tigers, and it's just a shame that it had to end this way. Before I throw to one of you guys too, we want to send our best get well wishes to Chrissy Bolton, the 8th grader who suffered a concussion during that game. Apparently, one of her teammates fell backwards on her, and it made her hit her head on the floor twice. And, you know, Coach Summerall says she's doing much better as of Monday morning. So it sounds like, you know, full recovery. But knowing what we know about concussions nowadays, it is definitely scary. Before we go to another game, Kevin, I know you got to see the Lady Tigers a lot more than any of us. I know you're disappointed with the outcome, but just speak to the job that Coach Summerall did this year.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I was able to cover them when they played Wayne County, and we know how that game turned around. It was a loss for the Lady Tigers, but I just can't commend those girls and Coach Summerall enough. You know, just from a couple of wins last year, turn around to where they're at now, and I think the future definitely looks bright for them. Just a great season. We know that North Pike team, save except for the Laurel Lady Golden Tornadoes, North Pike has had a really good year. So I wasn't shocked to see a first round exit for Northeast Johns. But hey, listen, you got to host a home
Yeah.
playoff game. There's a lot to look forward to in that program. And I'll just leave it at that. But kudos to those girls. Kudos to Coach Sumrall. You guys did a great job.
Guru, go ahead and give us your thoughts on Lady Tigers season.
It's same sentiments, like you said, going from winning just 2 games a year ago, turn around, finish second in district, get to host a home playoff game. Just an outstanding job of Coach Summerall and his girls buying into that program. And if this is in any type of indicator of how things are going to go moving forward to next year, then we might be sitting here the same time a year from now talking about them fighting for a trip to the big house.
It'd be awesome. And I mean, they're very young, so it's extremely possible. Now, next we'll get to the nail biter that Guru covered this weekend. East Central 16, Laurel 81. Didn't you write down how many points we thought Laurel would get last week? What did we say on that, Guru? Do you have that written down? Because I don't remember what we all said.
I said that East Central would score 20 or less. You both said they'd hit over. I got that correct. And I put the over-under at 56.5 that Laurel would win by. They won by 65, so they covered my spread.
Wow. Well, I'm sure there's not much you can say in a game that was this one-sided, but please try to tell us what you saw, Goo.
The one good thing for Coach Sherry Cooley and the Lady Tornadoes was, every girl on the team played. She said after the game, you never know when one of those kids that doesn't get to play as often might have to be called upon at some point, whether it's for a minute of action on the floor or for an extended amount of time. So she said at any point during the year, and there's been a lot of these lopsided wins for the Lady Tornadoes, that whenever she can get as many players on the floor as she can, she does for that specific reason. They're a very heavy senior laden team. They have Khalees Walker, who was Miss Class 5A in girls basketball, selected earlier this couple weeks ago. She's 6'3". She's going to Louisiana Lafayette next year to play on the collegiate level. She's tough. She's averaging close to a double per game. Carmichael at the point leads the way, and that duo right there is really fun to watch. And it was a game. East Central made the playoffs, but it's just one of those that they were outmatched from the get-go. Yeah. I told you they had one player that actually I think if she went to Laurel should probably be one of their starters. She scored all 9 points of theirs in the first half, which was all they scored in the first half, which is all they scored for the first 3 quarters to be exact. Yeah. But overall, it was over as soon as Laurel scored their first bucket.
It's remarkable what they're doing there in Laurel, and we have a good feeling that they're going to make that run back to Jackson, but you never know in these games. But Kevin, what's your, again, not much of a take? 81-16. There's not much more you can add, really.
No, it's just the same old that we've seen with Laurel. I saw a post actually, Blake Levine. He posted, I think it was yesterday, day before yesterday, about some of the most dominant teams we've seen. And he mentioned the Callaway girls. They, at one point a couple of years ago, they won the state championship, but they won a game by as much as 91 at one point.
Wow.
We haven't seen that yet, obviously, and probably won't, knowing the playoffs are getting, are winding down. But I think you have to consider this Laurel Golden Tornadoes team, if they win it all, one of the most dominant teams that we've seen in the state of Mississippi, right there with Callaway and what those girls did a couple of years ago. So I really think we're to the point of this team making history as one of the best to ever do it. And I don't want to jinx them, but I think that's kind of where we're leaning is can this team go on and make history with as many dominant wins as they've had?
Absolutely. And Kevin, you covered the next 2 games, actually, because you were at the West Jones PRC matchup. West Jones won 42-22. Kevin, tell us a little bit about what you saw in this game.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and tie both of these games together for time's sake. The West Jones PRC game was very close in the first half, probably closer than what Coach Murray wanted. I think she would say that. It was a 17-16 game at half. PRC slowed things down to a crawl and made every shot count. And PRC was connecting on their shots, and so was West Jones. But kind of like what Coach Murray said, LaMiracle Russell, they slowed her down. They really put an emphasis on her. She's a big part of their offensive game plan. But in the second half, the West Jones defense, the Lady Mustangs defense, just absolutely took control. They held PRC to just 6 points, 1 point in the final quarter. That came on a free throw at the end. I was rooting for them to have a fourth quarter shutout, but they got the free throw right at the end to make it a 42-22 game. Brooklyn Grady, she had 10 points, including a three. Just a great overall second half performance, I would say. Just talking to Coach Murray on that one, and they're actually playing today, right now as we speak, on Wednesday. I don't know if Guru will have any updates. I know you were trying to find if there was a live stream, right?
Yeah, if they tipped off at the correct time, they would have tipped off just about 2 minutes ago. I don't know if there was a game before them or not, but I'll check in
Before you
next 20, 30 minutes, see if we got anything.
Before you go to the boys game, because that game's going on right now, it's down on our picks. Let's just go ahead and pick the West Jones versus Terry game. They're coming from Pearl River Community College. Again, two solid teams. They know each other. They faced off a few times, but I think the Lady Mustangs are on a mission this year. So give me West Jones to win.
Yeah, same here. West Jones. I'm gonna pick West Jones in a close one if that defense can step up and do what they did against PRC.
Yeah, like Jack said, they met twice previously this year. West protected their home court with a 9-point win and then fell in one of their only 4 losses by 4 at Terry. Neutral court, after that second half defensive lockdown performance, I'm going to bet that Lady Mustangs are going to come out in this matchup and try to do the same. And I think, it might be a 1 or 2 point game, but West Jones is going to advance and move on to the semifinals in the big house.
Right now, Kevin, you also covered the intercounty rivalry matchup between Northeast Jones and South Jones. South Jones got the win 64-28. Doesn't sound like it was much of a – was it ever close in this game?
Really, the first quarter, the first period of this game was the closest that it ever was. Then South Jones just – put it away. And I think that, this was 74-28 win for South Jones on the reservation, cross-county matchup. I was expecting it to be a little bit closer, but I was not surprised that South Jones pulled away. It was one of those games where Northeast Jones tried to dictate the pace and South Jones just wouldn't let it happen. I think the biggest thing that I took away from this, and Coach McCormick did too, was that he didn't have a single player in double-digit points scored, but he had 10 players on the stat sheet that scored. His 2 leading scorers both scored 9 points apiece. Kane Husser and Meyer. Can't remember his first name. I didn't even put it in my notes. I'm an idiot. But both of those kids, they scored 9 points apiece off of 3 threes. And that's really what pulled that game away. Once South Jones hit a couple of threes and got it to about an 11-point lead at halftime, it was over at that point.
It just, again, kudos to them. And South Jones has had a little bit of bad luck against the Tigers in other sports. It was the boys soccer team put South Jones out of the playoffs there just the other night. And we'll talk about this here in a second. They beat the baseball team. Northeast Jones beat South Jones 11-4. So, I guess South Jones finally was able to get one over on the Tigers.
Yeah, they did. The South Jones student section was probably early in the fourth quarter was telling Northeast Jones to warm up the buses.
Goodness. Anything you want to add before we move on?
No, just a very impressive overall performance. And I will correct Kevin before somebody makes dumb remarks, but it was 64-28. He said 74.
I'm sorry.
We don't want to give them the 10 extra points. They didn't beat us by that many. Well, you still lost, whatever. But yeah, I mean, and that's going to set up a good matchup that we'll discuss here in a little bit. But I mean, honestly, I don't think we expected this one to go any other way. Maybe not as quite as a wide margin of victory for the Braves, but we expected them to be on the winning end, and they were, and not surprised.
Let's get into a little bit of a baseball rundown because we've seen our county schools, they're kind of up and down at the moment. I mean, South Jones, we talked about it last week. We picked it. South Jones finished off the sweep against West Jones, a pitcher's duel, 1-0. Gura and I both said whichever game between West or Northeast Jones that Beckett Johnson started, South would win. That ended up being right. He threw 6 shutout innings. So Beckett didn't get the win because South walked them off on a walk-off walk in that game. But again, South got that win, but then followed up the next night, losing at home 11-4 to Northeast Jones. So again, it's one of those seasons where it's going to be up and down. They bounced back last night, beating Resurrection Catholic, a winless team, but they still went out there and took care of business like they were supposed to. Then you've got West Jones, who I think has all of us shocked at the moment that they're sitting right now at 0-6 on the year. And they had some tough losses. Now, they lost 21-6 to Lamar, but Lamar's a really, really solid team. And then they lost 11-1 to Petal, who we all know Petal just seems to always have a solid baseball program. And then you've got Northeast Jones. They're below 500 as well after losing 8-0 to Enterprise. So again, it's been kind of an up and down season this year. It's still so early that I'm hoping nobody's pushing the panic button. I really, really think that the West Jones team is way better than their record says. I just don't think they've found it yet. I trust Coach Trey Sutton to find the right keys and get it in gear. South, we kind of expected to be drop off from last year and try to find their footing because, I mean, it is pretty much a new team for the most part. Northeast Jones, I think they're going to be fine too. And Kevin, we'll go with you first. What do you make of the early seasons for the local teams?
Yeah, I've got a baseball coach over here just teasing the heck out of me. I'm distracted. No,
Do we need to go to Guru?
No, you're good. You're good. I'm not going to out him, but he is from the Ville. Anyway, yeah, the South Jones. I mean, what they were able to do against West Jones, beating them twice in a week, that's huge. Obviously losing Northeast Jones, we covered that. Northeast Jones, South Jones got their lit back, I should say.
Yeah.
By way of the hardwood. The one that surprises me is West Jones, 0-6. Talking to Coach Sutton, this is a team that I expect to compete for a state title. My opinion really hasn't changed. Whenever I went down looking at the schedule, you lose a close one to South Jones, you probably could win that game. Even the other one, you probably could win. You just don't want that mentality to start seeping into the team now that they're 0-6. But looking forward, I think that's what Coach Sutton has to do is keep this team looking forward. Their schedule will get a little bit easier. It looks like they'll get some wins and get some confidence back. No shame in losing to Petal or Lamar, both great teams. Northeast Jones, I kind of think this is what's expected. They're trying to find their way
right around 500.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like that this is kind of what's expected. They're trying to find their way with the offense and getting their batting, and you want to make sure your pitching is solid. So, I think if I'm looking at everything, I'm pleasantly surprised with South Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm, expected with Northeast Jones. I'm a little surprised on the negative end with West Jones. But being Guru, and we've all talked about this, it's still so early in the season. You're not playing district games yet, and that's really what matters at the end of the day is district and finding out where you are as a team. So, like I said, pleasantly surprised with South Jones. what I expected with Northeast, and I expect West Jones to be better moving forward.
Guru, you're a former baseball player. You played in high school. I mean, so you can kind of walk folks through what is different about the start of a season as opposed to once you find your stride. You can kind of explain that.
Well, we'll just take my senior year for example. We lost 10 seniors from the year before when it was probably one of the best baseball teams that Laurel High School had that did not win a championship. So going into that, my senior year, there was 5 of us that were seniors that had playing time throughout the previous couple of years, and we kind of like a couple of our teams, or maybe all 3 of our teams this year, kind of going in unknown because you didn't know. We didn't really have a Friday night type start, a number 1 starter. And kind of like when I talked with Coach McKeever at Northeast Jones, he basically put it that, especially in the early going, whoever their pitcher catcher battery would kind of dictate how the rest of the lineup, not just the lineup, but how people in the field would be positioned. Because if you go back and look at our preview on him, he had a lot of guys listed as either utility or just infield, or that not really just designating a position other than mainly pitchers. And, so we kind of had that same mentality, and we were a team that, throughout the season, it was, especially in the first half, it was, right around 500 up and down. But once we got into district play back in a time when we had 7 teams in our district and only the top 2 made it to the playoffs, we were able to put things together after having a up and down first half of the season. But when it mattered the most, we were able to finish second and, make it into the playoffs. And I think that's what we're going to see most likely with all 3 of these teams. Now, where they finish in the district may not be where they want to with a couple of them, but just talking back on West Jones at 0-6, the 6 teams they've played are combined 26-12 on the year. I mean, they're not playing 1A schools that, have 12 players on the team. I mean, they're going out there, they're playing tough competition, and I think that's going to bode very well for them moving forward. And then with all your inter-county matchups that have already been played and yet to be played, I mean, those are always and have been for 40 years or longer. They're always in any sport, like we've talked about already on this show. It's always a toss-up. I mean, because even though you might go to church with them, you might be best friends with them. But once you step on the field or on the court or on the track, whatever it is, you want to be the one that's victorious.
Yep.
And that's why we see things like we talked about with Northeast boys soccer team beating the South Jones soccer team. Then they beat them in baseball. Well, then what turns around and happens on the hardwood? South Jones gets a payback in some sort of fashion. But it's just all in all, I think, until we get to mid-March, once a district play starts, then this is going to set them up. And for all 3 head coaches, Strickland, Sutton, and McKeever, at that point, they'll know what direction they want to go as far as who's the starting pitcher going to be, who's my best 9 hitters that I'm going to put in the lineup day in and day out. And that's when it matters the most.
Yep. I think that's, and Coach Strickland told us earlier when we were doing our previews that he's going to be throwing out a bunch of different lineups because he honestly doesn't know what he has. The last couple of years spoiled. I mean, you knew what you had coming back. This year, you maybe knew 2 or 3, but you had to redefine everything else. And I think that's why you're going to see some ups and downs. It's the same thing with the other guys, So now, of course, we promised last week we wanted to talk a little bit about the softball teams and, just kind of going through their records here in the early point of the season. South Jones is off to a good start at 5-2. West Jones 4-7, but coming off of a win against Stringer, who we know traditionally is a good power program in softball. Northeast Jones seems to be the class of the county when it comes to our county schools, because they're off to an 8-1 start on the year. there's a lot of things to be excited. West Jones last year was pretty awful in softball through no fault of the girls on the team. I mean, there was a lot of circumstances.
Or the ones put in place that had to coach.
Yeah. Or the ones put in place that had to coach. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that happened off the field that affected that program. I think that, 4-7, I know that's not where they want to be, but I do know that that's an improvement. And I think that you'll see them get better and better as the season goes on. South Jones, we've got a lot of high expectations for them. Looking in and just seeing some of the games they played, I think they're in a good spot. Northeast Jones, Kevin, you covered them last year, and you said they underachieved in that playoff loss. So we already knew the talent was there as well. So I mean, I think all three are going to find their mojo. But Kevin, what do you make of the starts here in softball?
Yeah, I think Northeast Jones. I'm going to kind of do like I did with baseball. This is one that's expected. I think this start is expected. Guru, you covered Northeast Jones softball for the preview. You know it, just like we've talked about it. Like Caroline Myrick, man, she's a baller. Like she started hot. So I look to her to kind of propel that team and move that team forward. So I'm not surprised by this start. Matter of fact, whenever I was at the soccer game at Northeast Jones, she was over there hitting home runs apparently. Yeah. With South Jones, again, I'm not surprised by this. They were a great team last year. I think they were kind of missing that piece of that. Not dogging any coach there last year, but I think they were missing that piece at the head coach.
Now you kind of hit on it. You hit it with the dog park because they got a dog coaching them now, and 5-2 start, that's already showing because they brought back a lot of players from last year's team, and it's not a knock on anyone, but with the coaching change, I think you're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head. That has made a significant change, and it's going to make a significant change as we progress through the season for South Jones
softball. That postseason stuff is going to be, I think, where you're going to see it whenever they do make the postseason.
Personalities matter, especially when it comes to coaching, and when you see somebody, that is an alpha out there, the players respond to that, and that's what South has now.
Yeah, and as far as West Jones, they're going to get there. I told you. They beat Stringer last night. There's a ton of change at Stringer. Head coach, Landon White's no longer there. He's actually on the staff at South Jones Baseball. Madeline Graham's not there. She's at Southern Miss. J.C. Holifield's a PRC. There's a lot of turnover there, but Stringer's still a good softball team. They're still going to be solid in their class, I think. So West Jones beating them, 4-7 start. Lane Jordan, he's a winner. He's going to turn that program around. So, I'm pleasantly surprised with West Jones. I'll say that. Expected from South Jones, and I'm impressed with Northeast Jones.
Guru, what you want to add?
I just think that, Northeast Jones sitting at 8-1. They're currently on a 7-game winning streak. And I mean, I know we just spoke about it in baseball, how young the season is for both of them, but I will not be shocked if here early April we're talking about a potential playoff series between South Jones and Northeast Jones, and that could be or would be a whole lot of fun for us. West Jones, like you said, Coach Jordan has got them moving in the right direction, and fortunately for him, they do play in a district with a few teams that traditionally are not very competitive in softball, and that's going to help them once they get to district play. And I'm pretty sure we'll see them getting into the postseason as well. But I'm really, really excited to get out and go see both South and Northeast play.
Absolutely. It's always great when you know that you've got three solid teams. And I'm still curious. I don't have them down on the rundown, but I'm curious to see after your preview on Laurel's softball team. I'm curious to see what comes of that team. A lot of struggle, that Guru talked about that they have against them. But I'm curious to see, if they've got heart and maybe they can compete where people don't think they will. Now last week we also promised that when we got to our familiar faces in new places segment that we would highlight some of the girls that are playing softball on the next level. I only found, or actually Kevin found it, and I appreciate his help on that. Kevin put together if you go to his Facebook page, you can find where he put together this amazing list of not just kids playing from Jones County playing. He's got the surrounding areas, Wayne County, Stringer. He's got all kids, softball and baseball. It's a wonderful, wonderful list he's put together. So if you're wondering where somebody you rooted for in the past is now, go there and check that out, because I think that's great work by Kevin. And we'll probably, 1 week we'll probably hit some of the outliers. But for now, we're just going to stick with Jones County kids. And there were only 2 that Kevin found. Ramaya Price of West Jones, she transferred last year. She was at Meridian Community College. And this year she has transferred to East Central Community College. And it looks like she's off to a hot start, because in 12 games, she's batting .280 with 1 home run and 8 RBIs. So kudos to her for the great start. Then you go up to Goodman, Mississippi. Man, I feel for anybody that ends up in Goodman, Mississippi.
Wow.
I went there for 1 semester. Terrible place to be. And I have no problem saying that.
Maybe it's changed.
Maybe it's changed, but you were 40 minutes from the nearest McDonald's.
That's East Miss. That's the East Miss too, man.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why Netflix when
you have the junction inside the gas station there, and I think doesn't the other gas station maybe have a Subway?
Yeah, I think it's a Subway. Yeah,
that was more than they had in Goodman.
I passed by there a few times going to Tupelo to see Callie, and there's nothing there besides the gas station
and a 4-way.
Yeah,
but anyway, we do have another West Jones girl in Carly Garner, who is playing up there for the Holmes Bulldogs. She's batting .241 with 5 RBIs in 20 games. So again, happy to see the local kids represent. There are a lot more, because again, if we had worked in Stringer, there were a ton of Stringer girls, several from Wayne County that we'll probably talk about here in the future. But it's just always awesome when you see our kids going to the next level, especially ones that you guys have covered in the past. So again, it's just, we want to make sure we recognize them moving forward. It's Kevin. What do you see when you see number? I mean, these are solid numbers, and hopefully, and it's still a small sample size.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I was gonna say. Both of these small sample size. Both of these girls, I think I remember both of them. I didn't cover softball quite as much a few years ago, but Price at East Miss and Garner at Holmes. Just, I mean, anytime you can get in the game and continue playing your career, that's always a good thing. And I will say, talking about that list, if you do go to my business page and you see it, I only done baseball and softball. Basketball's kind of on its way winding now, so I didn't go through that.
It'll all be over by next weekend.
Yeah, I expect to do this with volleyball and football and all later on. I know we always do the ones, kind of how they did on Sunday for football, but I'm planning on trying to do that. And also another thing, I only highlighted kids that are still playing in Mississippi, because there are over 300 colleges for baseball and softball.
Yeah.
And I just did not have the time.
And that's only on the Division I level.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I, for the football preview magazine, went through all 136 Division I rosters to pick out the kids from the local coverage area, and that in and of itself was a task. And we know we have some, we're about to talk about a couple of them, or one of them here in a second, that's playing D1 down in Hattiesburg. But I mean, oh my God, for baseball, softball, for Division I, because you got to go to Division II. I mean, we have NAIA at William Carey. I mean, and your Millsaps, your Mississippi colleges, Belhavens, all of that. I mean, reach out to us. Leave a comment in the messages. Go on the Leader Call website and contact us through email if there's any former player for baseball or softball, just let us know where they're playing at. I mean, we're three guys trying to put it all together, and
Yeah.
there's only 24 hours in a day, unfortunately.
Right. That's why I just did the Mississippi schools. I went through all the JUCOs and then went through all of our universities here and just found those softball and baseball players. And then you have, I mean, honestly, y'all, there's a couple of JUCO schools that their rosters look like they have not been updated.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of players that I missed, and like I said on my page there, comment if I missed someone because unfortunately sometimes the rosters aren't updated
Yeah.
like they should be. Even at that blows my mind at a collegiate level that you can't have somebody updating a roster and putting a picture of a kid on the thing. But anyway, yeah, great for them. And Dylan, I'll transition us into this one, I guess, if you want me to. Dylan got his first start at USM Tuesday night. Dylan Cosby.
That's why I'm wearing a Golden Eagle baseball jersey because, Dylan's one of those kids I've watched since Little League. You know, he's super kid. We're all rooting for him, same way we're rooting for Cole and the other guys that are from Jones County there at Southern Miss. We all were excited when we saw the announcement that Dylan was getting that first start and the first start against Alabama.
I was shocked.
And Guru, you followed part of that game. Tell us how Dylan did in his first start.
A little shaky there, but I mean, it's to be expected. I mean, he takes the mound against the SEC team in Alabama, who has one of the premier shortstops in the game. Can't remember the kid's first name. Unfortunately, his last name is LeBron. That's a true story. But at the end of the day, the tide was low in Hattiesburg last night because Southern Miss put belt to butt.
Yeah,
14-4 in a run rule mercy game. Sent the Tide riding low all the way back to Tuscaloosa, which never upsets me. Because he gave up a pair of hits, hit a batter. They scored 2 runs, and a full inning pitch. But Southern threw 9 arms in the game. The other guy that gave up 2 runs for Southern Miss, he only pitched a third of an inning and gave up 2 runs. But, for Dylan, it's awesome. I mean, true freshman going from, Class 5A baseball Mississippi to playing a D1 game on a top 15 ranked team, hosting an SEC school. Could not imagine the butterflies that he was experiencing. And I honestly think that if he would have been the number 2 or number 3 to come out and take the mound, we might have seen a little bit of difference there.
Yeah.
But that's your starting point. You got to get that starting point somewhere to be the first guy to go out and get on the bump. And, now that he's got that out of his system, it'll be nice to see what might transpire moving forward for him this season, along with, like you mentioned, Cole Richardson. He didn't pitch in last night's game. But, I mean, Southern Miss, if you go look at, I mean, their ESPN has them ranked 12 right now, and they have some nice wins, not only over Alabama, but they beat Baylor and they beat somebody else out at Oregon State. That's right, out in Round Rock last weekend at that tournament. So, this time of year is probably one of the most highly anticipated for Golden Eagles fans because over the last decade plus, they are a baseball school.
Look, they're red hot. I mean, they're coming off of going out there to that tournament, beating a power program in Oregon State. I mean, all 3, Ole Miss and Mississippi State, the baseball teams in this state right now, if they can keep it up, they're looking very, very impressive. All 3. And just so we don't look like we're not mentioning the other county kids for Southern Miss, Lawson Odom and Caden Clark both went to West Jones. I mean, Southern Miss loves our area because they also have Jackson Parker from Stringer. So, I mean, they love our area for sure. And I think that makes it easier for us to root for success, for them, maybe even easier than some of the other schools. I know Guru probably is never going to root for a team in Oxford. I can't see that happening for Guru. He can root for State. He has nothing but I just don't see him ever rooting for a Rebel.
There could be an exception. He'll be a senior at South Jones this fall. Hopefully that never comes to fruition. I wish him the best. Hopefully he does go D1, but please somewhere else other than Oxnard.
Oh, that's funny. Well, last week we mentioned at Meridian Community College that Cambridge McDaniel was off to a hot start with 3 home runs already. Well, he hit his 4th, but the reason why it's worth mentioning is he did it a day after his grandmother passed away. He had driven home to go be with her as they knew her time was near. And then the next day he goes back, plays in a game, hits a monster shot home run. What's crazy, guys, I don't know if y'all realize, this isn't the first time he's done that. When his grandfather passed away, he left the funeral, went and played in the first game of the year, crushed a home run then. So, I mean, it seems to be the boy understands big moments. And it was a special moment to see. I mean, of course, he goes across home plate, kisses and points up to the sky for her. I mean, it was a cool moment. He's currently playing, I think, the first game of a doubleheader right now. So as we're talking, those numbers may have changed more. But it's just, like I said, it was an incredible thing and just remarkable that he's been able to do that twice, and just, we wanted to make sure that we let him and, his family know that they're in our prayers, following the loss of his grandmother. But we also wanted to point out, I mean, because again, we love sports, but in the grand scheme of things, there's so many more important things in life. But, for him to be able to get out there and provide his family in a time where they're all hurting, to provide them with something special, and to have done it twice now, that's just ridiculous, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. Cambridge is just a good kid and has always been a good kid from the time I've known him. And yeah, I mean, he keeps playing like this, and somebody's going to give him a look at a different level. So really rooting for him, and cool to see him hit that home run.
Yeah, maybe we'll be talking this time next year, and he'll be another local one playing down the road in Hattiesburg too.
It'd be nice. And again, next week we'll go back into more baseball. We'll go back to baseball with the familiar faces and new places, because Kevin's list, he found several that we didn't have last week. So we'll update some of those. The only reason why we highlighted those two was the special circumstances this week. Now, again, normally this is a time where I do a wild card, but I think Kevin wants to tell Guru who's going to win in the wrestling pay-per-views this weekend. Because, Guru's sitting on the edge of his seat. He knows there's a big pay-per-view. Which pay-per-view is it, Kevin?
It's the Elimination Chamber, actually. This week is Saturday. Unfortunately, I will not be watching because of South Jones, Wayne County. But yeah, it's going to be a really good one. Unfortunately, we had an injury.
Is the Macho Man in it?
No, he's not. He's not in it. Unfortunately, he has passed away for like the 18th time.
He's the Macho Man. He's got madness. He'll find a way.
No, we did have an injury. Bronson Reed tore his bicep, from what I understand.
That's Guru's favorite wrestler.
It's terrible. You got CM Punk versus Finn Balor. That match is pointless. CM Punk is winning this one. You have the Elimination Chamber match: Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Jey Uso. In this one, I'm picking Cody Rhodes, even though it's going to be a snooze fest because Drew McIntyre and Cody have fought. I don't understand the booking there, but I think Jacob Fatu is going to somehow get in that one for WrestleMania, because if you win the Elimination Chamber, you go to WrestleMania, and we're just going to mute him. Yeah, Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. I'm going to pick Becky to win it. The Women's Elimination Chamber: Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kiana James, and Raquel Rodriguez. I'm picking Rhea Ripley in that one. So yeah, that's the match card. Unless something else has changed, and that's who I'm picking.
And for the record, Kevin didn't know I was going to throw that.
No,
it just popped in my head on the fly. How can I annoy Guru?
That's a social media clip right there, boys.
Get to some hockey real quick. How about Team USA?
USA.
Taking care of business.
USA.
Even Kevin, you're not being a hockey fan. Even you can take pride in putting those maple syrup drinking jokers up north.
In men's and women.
Hey, let me show y'all something. I'm not a Democrat, so I can actually stand up and I can give them a hand clap.
Yeah.
Unlike what they did at the State of the Union last night, but we're not going to get into politics here.
No, we'll have another show tomorrow where maybe if I need somebody to sit in, you can do that. But yeah, it was a great game, and what cracks me up is watching the Canadian crybabies who are saying, "Oh, well, you shouldn't celebrate as much because you had to win it in 3-on-3 overtime." I didn't notice when Canada won a game earlier in the same tournament in this same 3-on-3 overtime. I didn't see them saying that they shouldn't celebrate that, but again,
Get good, kid.
Hurt feelings, and it was awesome to sit back and watch some Canadian tears.
Well,
51st state, maybe.
I don't want
them.
Yeah. If you're not a fan of liberals, you don't want Canada to be our 51st state. Oh goodness. Well, let's get into our picks. So.
Da-da-da, da-da-da.
And of course, we're going to start off with college basketball. Last week, you guys didn't believe in Duke at all. Y'all both picked Michigan.
The Dukies.
You both said that Duke wasn't going to win, against Michigan. Kind of took care of business, didn't they, guys? And
I don't know. I didn't watch.
This week, they're taking on Virginia. And just because you guys were so wrong, I decided I'd break out my Duke shirt as I pick the Blue Devils to win this particular game over 11th ranked Virginia. It's in Cameron Indoor. Give me the Dukies to take care of business.
I want everybody to know that he has on 2 different sports attires.
I do.
Fair weather fan. Nah, I'm picking Duke in this one at home. Virginia always finds a way to choke. They'll choke this one away.
I'll never pick Duke. Give me the Wahoos in the road upset.
Oh, goodness. Next matchup.
Scratch that out. I did have those crackheads. Virginia.
The next matchup, we've got another top 25 matchup. Number 14, Kansas at number 2, Arizona. Kansas just recently, I think they came off of a huge win. I think it might have been, who was it, Goo? I'm trying to remember was it Houston?
I think it was Houston.
But they're coming off of a big win.
Yeah, Houston has a problem. They're only like 3 games skid.
Yeah, and now they got to travel to the number 2 team. Kansas is a blue blood program, but so's Arizona, and I think it's going to be a tough place to win. Give me Arizona in this one.
Yeah, I'm going Kansas in this one. I don't know why. I just feel like an upset's going to happen. I think Kansas is going to get this one close.
Yeah, they did beat Houston 69-56. And then you go back earlier this month, February 9th, in Fog Allen Fieldhouse there in Lawrence, Kansas. They beat this Arizona team 82-78. I already had my picks or pick labeled anyway, so I think Arizona gets retribution and knocks off the Jayhawks out there in Tucson, Arizona's.
Next, we get to our 3 state schools. Southern Miss plays on Friday night. They're traveling right down the road to South Alabama. South Alabama's already beaten USM in Hattiesburg. I see no reason. I know USM's been playing better, and I want to pick them, and I've been fairly decent when I have gone out on a limb with them. But there's something about South Alabama and
Miss
USM.
basketball, dude.
Yeah, I mean, so give me South Alabama to win this one.
Yeah, I just can't pick Southern Miss whenever they're playing South Alabama at all in any sport.
Yeah,
you could play tic-tac-toe and Southern Miss could get the first tic-tac-toe, whatever you do.
Maybe pick them in baseball, but that's it. But even that,
I don't even know about baseball, brother.
I mean, after what happened in football, I mean, we all pooped the bed on that
South
one.
Alabama.
No, I don't disagree. But I will say this. I was highly disappointed Tuesday night. Alyssa and I ordered food from McDonald's, and I'd already put my car radio on Rock 104 when I got home late Tuesday afternoon in anticipation of being in the car at some point when Southern Miss baseball is playing against Alabama. Get in the car to go to McDonald's, and it's the intro for Southern Miss basketball.
Baseball's on another channel, but I don't remember which one it
Is it
is.
Super Talk? Is Super Talk?
No, Super Talk's Ole Miss.
Super
That's
Talk
right.
is Ole Miss, but come on, man. There's like not even a third of the amount of fans in Reed Green Coliseum as there are out at the Pete.
Look,
I don't get it. I
I'll-
mean, there's no way that Southern Miss baseball doesn't generate a heck of a lot more money than their basketball
it
program.
absolutely does. And I agree with you 100%. I don't know what contracts were worked out. Maybe that's the problem there, but I've said this for a long time. They should be putting as much energy in the baseball program as they can. It is the
And
meal
what's-
ticket for everyone else.
And I don't know, and maybe I don't know if it's a conference thing, because I know as far as LSU, it's the same thing right now with LSU men's basketball and baseball. You go down to Louisiana, or if you can pick up 870 AM WWL, if they're both playing on the same night, they have the crappy LSU men's basketball game on, just like right here in the Pine Belt. And there was like 7,000 people last night with LSU playing McNeese State. You know how many would have been in Pete Maravich Assembly Center, even
4.
if they were playing Ole Miss?
4.
Maybe 14.
College baseball is heavily undercovered.
Appreciated.
Well, it's undercovered, I think.
I agree.
Oh no, absolutely.
ESPN
because
doesn't even put it on there.
Well, you go on to, for example, I clicked on the Kansas Arizona game, right?
Mhm.
And it tells me who each team has played their last 5. You can click on their full schedule. It goes wins, points against, field goal, blah, 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 blah. I mean, look, I'm scrolling, all this info. Okay. We go to NCAA baseball, which is on my favorites, and we will pick game from last night, a top team. Okay, number 6 Arkansas and Arkansas State are playing right now. That's it. That's all you get.
It's sad.
There's nothing. And even post game, you click on it, there's no details. I mean, because I had to go during the Southern Miss game last night onto the Southern Miss website
To find the
to
baseball.
see
Yeah.
stats, because and I don't get it. I mean, I know as a whole across the country, college basketball is bigger and makes more money than college baseball, but down here that's not the case.
Well, I do think, and again, and we'll get back to our picks in a second, but I think this is worth having a discussion on. But ESPN has already proven that they're clueless. I mean, you've already seen what they're replacing Sunday night baseball with, the WNBA and a women's soccer league. That's not going to get you any ratings. And I know that you can't necessarily have college baseball because it'll be over for most of the summer. But again, you've seen their priorities are everywhere else. I mean, because you'll flip it on, you'll find a collegiate softball game on before you'll find a collegiate baseball game on. And that's not a knock on softball, but I do think that there are more people that are interested in collegiate baseball. ESPN is a lost network that is a mere shell of what it was years ago. And the proof is when they think the WNBA and a women's soccer, professional soccer league is going to be a ratings grab that makes you okay with losing Major League Baseball on Sunday nights, it just shows that network is turned into an utter joke. And
Well, with that being said, though, I mean, why would you not put that on ESPN too, and do what you said? Because college baseball, I mean, MLB starts late March, the end of March, 1st of April. That's right in the middle of everybody's conference games. And they typically play what? Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
Why not find whoever is a top 25 matchup that particular week, and that replaces your son? You're going to get a hell of a lot more ratings with a top 25 college baseball game on Sunday night than you're going to get from, no disrespect to women at all, but for either the WNBA, unless it's Caitlin Clark playing,
Yeah,
and you
she'll
can't
draw-
put her
she'll
on
bring-
there every Sunday night, which they'll try to do. But I mean, women's soccer league, nobody's going to watch that. No, I mean, yes, some people will watch it, But more people are, from a sports viewing standpoint, especially depending on the matchup, they're going to be more inclined to go over to NBC and watch Major League Baseball. Me personally, I won't watch either one, to be totally honest.
Yeah, I just think, well, the one thing I'll
Wake
say,
up.
no, I was, the one thing I think would be a good alternative, y'all were talking about Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think any of these colleges, if ESPN came to them and said, hey, we're going to do Sunday night baseball at the collegiate level, and we're going to pick, top 25 matchup, Arkansas, Auburn, Arkansas State, something like that. We're going to do that once a week. They would move their times up from a noon pitch to probably a 6 p.m. pitch.
They already do it in football.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
And I wouldn't be totally surprised either, Kevin, if they were to take their number ones and not start them on Friday and hold them for that primetime matchup on Sunday.
And every single one of the games are already being broadcast on
ESPN. Yeah, especially with SEC and Southern Miss and all the like.
Easy.
I mean, ESPN Plus, I mean, that's what I was watching Southern Miss on last night.
Yeah.
Goodness. Well, let's get back to our picks. We're going to blow through.
By the way, South Alabama beats USM in basketball.
Yeah. We already knew where you were going on that. I'm picking Missouri to beat Mississippi State, and I'm going to go ahead and pick Auburn to beat Ole Miss. So I see the big three losing all. Kevin,
I'm taking Missouri over Mississippi State unless Josh Hubbard absolutely does what he did with Auburn and just outscores everybody. And then I'm taking Ole Miss over Auburn.
I think Hubbard and Mississippi State will continue their winning ways, and I think he goes for – I'm going to give him 28 in this game. State gets a really needed home win over Missouri, but I definitely think Auburn is kind of trending right, kind of got the ship right and trying to get back into the mix for the NCAA tournament, and they'll take care of business against Ole Miss, who's going to beat the hell out of LSU tonight.
Now let's get into some boys baseball in the area. We're going to start with I think each of these have 2 games because they're both playing 2 games. So we'll start with Oak Grove at South Jones on Friday night, and then the following day, South Jones at Petal. I think this is another one of those cases, Guru, that's like last week. Whichever game Beckett's pitching gives South Jones a better chance. But I think Oak Grove beats South Jones, and I think Petal's going to beat South Jones. I hope to be proven wrong, but I'm going with the other teams this time.
I'm giving you Kevin's quickies. South Jones goes 0-2. Northeast Jones goes 1-1. West Jones.
Which one do they win, though? You can't just say 1-1.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, South Jones.
Well, hold on. He can. We did last week. We said whichever game Beckett pitches, they win, they lose the other.
South Jones is going 0-2. Guys, that's not because I'm doubting you. That's just because I'm teasing your head coach. South Jones is going 0-2. Mason's going to cost you a game. Northeast.
Wow.
Northeast Jones, they're beating Bay Springs, and then they're splitting. They're going to get beat by West Harrison, and then West Jones. Y'all are getting on the board, baby. You're beating Raleigh, and then you're going and you're beating Stringer.
I'm gonna before Guru makes his pick, since you went ahead and jumped ahead on those. I agree with Kevin. Northeast wins at Bay Springs, loses at West Harrison, and I think West Jones gets the weekend sweep.
I already had mine written down, and I had split next to South Jones. Beckett's going to get a win in one of those games. Northeast Jones wins both of their games, and West Jones moves to 2-6 on the year after they get the weekend sweep as well.
Now we will go to I have it written down as basketball, but it's baseball, but it's supposed to be girls basketball. But that's just
You mean softball?
Yeah, softball is what it's supposed to be. Yeah, I'm all over.
Because when you said basketball, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. We're not playing Poplarville.
Yeah, no, it's softball that we've got next, and we'll start with West Jones. Again, this is going to be 2 games for a couple of them. I think Northeast Jones is the only one who has one. No, South only has 1 game. West has 2. So West Jones at Poplarville on Thursday, and then they host Columbia. So, again, tough games to pick. I'm going to go with the home team in both of them. I think they get a split. I think Poplarville wins the the first matchup on Thursday, and then West Jones beats Columbia. Madison Ridgeland Academy. Well, wait. I think I screwed up on the before. It was softball before, and that was not baseball. So we messed up those first picks.
Oh,
messed up those
this is
first
what you
picks.
get. This is
Yep.
what you
Well,
get.
it cut off, so yeah, that was softball that we picked before. So, but does that change any of your picks? I think it does change mine. I think I'm going with South in a sweep in those games. I think Northeast gets a sweep in theirs. And I think West will split because I think rematching against Stringer, beating the same team twice as hard. So that did change.
I'm going sweeps across the board, and I'm confident in that.
That's a good pick. Good.
Mine doesn't change. Split for South, Northeast, and West Jones win both of theirs.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. That cutting off the title to the next page threw me off. And if I hadn't remembered that South was playing Madison Ridgeland Academy, we would have gone through thinking that was softball.
This doesn't change any of my picks on any of it as I already have them written out.
So I'm going to go with West Jones in the sweep. They're going to win both of their games. I think South, last year this was a really close game for South. I think they're going to throw Beckett. I think it's going to be a very, very tight game. I think Madison Ridgeland's probably going to sneak past them. And in the Northeast Jones at Stringer, I think the Tigers would be too much for him.
I'm picking West Jones in the sweep either way. They've got to get on the board. Then MRA, unfortunately, is going to beat South Jones.
Is that because of Coach Strickland again?
Yes, it is because of Coach Strickland. It is because of you, Coach.
Mason, we don't agree with Kevin on everything, so
It's because of Coach. No, I'm just kidding. Madison Ridgeland is a great team, and South Jones, like you said, if Beckett does pitch, it'll be a close game, but I do see MRA coming out with that one. Northeast Jones Stringer is very interesting to me. I'm gonna pick Stringer just because they're at home. That big left field wall, man.
have the last couple of years they've been a little down in baseball. Are they now older and improved?
Yeah, I think so. I think both of these teams are kind of the same spot, but I could definitely see Northeast Jones winning this, but I'm gonna pick Stringer. And man, let me tell you, if you get a chance this year, go to Stringer and watch a baseball game. One of the best facilities around here.
Oh, it's a cool place.
I love sitting on the deck on the second story, watching the games. So fun.
West Jones splits, Madison Ridgeland wins, and Northeast Jones topples Stringer.
And now we get to basketball. After I tried to, pretend that softball was baseball and then that baseball was basketball. Now we're finally correct in what we're going with, aren't we? We're going to start in the boys' side as South plays Wayne County at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. It's going to be a tough game for South. It's a tough one to pick. I'm gonna be a homer in this one. I'm gonna pick South in this one.
Yeah, this is tough, man. I really like what South did with all their kids scoring and nobody just hogging the ball. But Wayne County is just really, really, really good. Mm-hmm. And with that said, I'm going to pick the War Eagles in this one.
Yeah, these two played a 4-point game like way back earlier in the year when football was still going on, before both teams got their football players back on the hardwood. Been a good run for South Jones. Wayne County is legit. I won't be surprised to see them playing for the state title in Class 5A. I'm going to follow Kevin's suit and pick the War Eagles.
We all have already picked West Jones since that game is.
Were you able to get a final score, Kevin?
I'm trying. I'm trying to find it as we speak.
Okay.
If Kevin finds that before we sign off, we'll update you. But all of us have already picked West Jones, so we can skip over that one. We'll go to the other game there at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, Laurel versus North Pike. I no way I'm picking against the Laurel Girls. There's just no way I'm picking against the Laurel Girls. It might be a closer matchup in their last one, but it's still going to be one I think they win comfortably. Kevin, are you still looking?
Yeah, I haven't been able to find anything, but on the Laurel North Pike thing, just give me Laurel by 35.
Goo, you going to make it unanimous?
What kind of question is that? No, these two also met twice this year. Laurel won by close to 50 in the first matchup, then 30 in the second matchup. I think it might be a little tight through the first 43 seconds. But Laurel, I'll follow Kevin. It's, what was I say? Carry the 1, subtract that 7. So Laurel by 39.
So he's giving a 30.
Laurel's going back to the big house end of the day.
Over or under 65 points scored by Laurel.
Oh, over.
Kevin?
Over.
I think, again, unanimous. I think we all say over. I made it a little bit because I didn't want to say 75 because,
Over 65.
Yep, all three of
LHS.
us. 3 of us on that. Goodness. A lot of fun games that we've got. And you guys are you're covering Laurel's game this weekend, correct? And you're covering South Jones.
That's the plan.
So we will have boots on the ground. Kevin is armed with a microphone now, so if Kevin sticks it in your face, just talk to him.
What?
Said if Kevin sticks the microphone in
Oh,
your
I
face,
thought
just
you
talk
did.
to him.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, Kevin will be there, microphone in hand, I'm sure, doing some type of video updates. Goo is technically challenged with no social media presence whatsoever, so
I'm
he
not
will be
technically
doing-
challenged.
he will be doing no no live updates.
Don't want your feedback.
Kevin wants some beef jerky for some reason.
It's good. Have you ever had
I like beef jerky.
beef
but it
jerky
just-
from the Night Butcher?
But it just seemed very, very random that you put it up right. Is that where you're going the second we wrap this show up?
Probably.
We got an hour and 2 minutes to get there before they close today, buddy.
I went there yesterday. It was very good. Got a steak from there.
Got a steak. Did you already cook it?
Yeah, I had it for supper. It was very good. Shout out to Chad Knight and the Chad Knighters.
Did you get that Wagyu steak?
Nah, can't afford $50 a pound.
They are doing Wagyu burgers this week. So
What are they, 35?
15 for the burger and the drink. So just a little bit more than what you already pay when you go over there for a
Free advertising for the Night Butcher.
Yeah, he's not paying us. He should. Does that mean we get a free Wagyu burger now? Because we talked about it and we gave him some free plugs.
We
I think it
should. I mean, we might have to split it 3 ways, which wouldn't be a lot. But
I got a free calendar from Chad.
what was on it? Meat
Dude,
candy?
Man, it was
Dudes.
big, meaty men.
Meat candy?
And Kevin hung it up in by his desk.
I got big, meaty men sitting atop of me.
On that note, this has been the Laurel Leader Calls Sports Show. I'm your host, Jack Fairchilds, and for Kevin Lindsey and Josh Guru Nichols, we'll see you guys again next week.